Hi, this is Angel Valdez for Full Sail University. Right here you can see the flowchart for the business requirements for this application. You can see the different possibilities the person can take from the same page, and you can go through the add client functionality and add the name, the phone, the email, the website, and then do the post. And if the information is valid, which there is a validation happening at the client and at the server, then the client will be inserted in the database. If it's not valid, then you will go back to the display page and you will have another opportunity to enter that information. Now, validation can always be improved by using colors and make it easier on the user by keeping the values, the previous values, and things like that. But that will be outside the scope of this exercise. Of course, if I just run the page, I will get all clients and display it on the screen. I can also go and delete one of the clients that I choose, and there is a confirmation pop-up window that if I say yes and I confirm, I will go into the database and delete the client. I could also do a search for any specific criteria, and then it's going to go through, validate the search criteria to make sure that it's not empty. And if it's not empty, it will go through and search in the database and display the records for that criteria. If it's empty, it will actually go back and display all records for all clients. And finally, I can do an update on the client by choosing one of the clients and clicking on update. So that will navigate to this page that will display first the information for that specific client ID, and it will allow me to modify the name, phone, email, and website, and then do a post. If the information is valid, again, validation will happen on the client as well as on the server. So if the information is valid, it will go through and update the client on the database. Otherwise, it will stay on the update screen. Okay, so that's as far as the flowchart goes. There is a pseudocode associated with this functionality as well, and you can see all the different functionalities. I will not repeat myself because it's very similar, as you can probably imagine, all the different steps that the software developer will have to write code for to accomplish the functionalities represented on the flowchart. So you can see there the display of clients, display the search result, add the client, delete the client, update the client, and so on. I'm going to show you the MySQL workbench now on the database. I chose for the last week to use different tools to familiarize myself to other tools that are very popular out there. So instead of the SQL Pro and instead of the PHP PyChart, I'm using the PHP chart. I'm using the Visual Studio, the MySQL workbench, and so on. So here you can see the actual database with the tables, clients, and you can see the clients table definition. I will include an SQL dump of this database and table, and then you can see an example of clients data inside of it. So let's go ahead and see the application. So I already have the application running on my local host from Visual Studio, and now when I run the application, I can actually go ahead and insert a new client, and you can see how this displays similar to what the instructor was doing. So I can enter a new name. I'm gonna enter, let's say, Ashley. I'm gonna enter a phone number for Ashley. I can enter the phone number like that, or using Duchess. I'm gonna enter Ashley's email and Ashley's website. So once I enter the information that is valid, I will click on save, and you can see that it will display a successfully inserted client, and Ashley will show organized by alphabetical organized by name. So Ashley is there with all the information. So now if I try to insert a new record with invalid information, I do some client validation, as I mentioned before, for required values. And even if I enter the values, if they are not valid, like this phone number is not valid, I'm gonna enter a valid email. Well, actually, I'm gonna enter an invalid email. So just to show you that, and a valid or an invalid website as well. So I'm gonna enter an invalid phone, an invalid email, and an invalid website. And I click on save, and you'll see that it's gonna say invalid phone, invalid email, invalid website, and it will not enter Hector on the database. So now I'm gonna go ahead and update Maria Suarez. I'm gonna click on update. I'm gonna change Maria Suarez information to a number 2. I'm gonna click on update again, and Maria Suarez now has a number 2. If I choose to delete delete Maria Suarez from the database, I click on delete. I have a confirmation window that I can choose confirm, and Maria is gone. I added this optional functionality, extra functionality for search. So if I'm searching for angel, and you can see that I have 2 angels right here, I will display that. If I don't have any values, I will reset the search back to and I can search by name, phone number, email, or any criteria that I want to include on the search criteria. Okay, so that's, I believe, as much as the information goes. Now let's look at the code. So I'm gonna open up Visual Studio, and this is my client's page. Open up some more space, and you can see it right there. You can see right there how I'm going through and composing the HTML page for the initial forms. I have my search form right here. I have my add form over here, and the actual add form that is hidden over here. And then I only display a toggle that display similarly to the instructor example. And then I go through and I compose this page based on the result of the queries, which I'm always checking to see on what mode I'm working on. If I'm on insert mode, I'm going to insert records. If I am on search or get all, I'm going to search or get all the records, and so on. Similarly, and then at the bottom I have my JavaScript functionality. Similarly, if I choose to delete a client, I am calling this delete client PHP file that is going to get the ID and then pass it on to the statement, connect to the database, and delete the record. If I do something similar with the update, the same thing. It's going to navigate to this page, it's going to get the ID, call the database first to get the values for that specific ID, and then allow me to go through the form. And if I do a submit, first it's going to validate the values. It's gonna, if they are valid, then it's going to go and prepare the update with all the different values, and connect to the database and do the update. If there is any error or if it is success, it's going to display that using the session variables. And this validation page that I'm using on the update, as well as the initial clients insert, and you can see that somewhere right here, I'm using this validation that I actually extracted to an external file. That's where I'm declaring this variable, and I'm going through and doing some validation for phone number using a regex match. I'm validating for email using the filter bar on PHP, and so on, and the website. Let's see, am I forgetting anything else? I don't believe so. So hopefully it will be enough. Thank you very much, and it's been a pleasure to be in this class.